Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us at this Your Overseas Home webinar. My name is Christopher Nye, Senior Editor at Your Overseas Home and Greece Property Guides. Today, we'll be chatting with Georgios Gafrolidis, I hope I said that right, from Elxis at home in Greece. It's great to have you all with us, whether you're with us live or you're catching up on demand. We have 30 minutes or so, and we're going to have a presentation from Georgios. But first, why don't we just get Georgios to say a little bit about him and how Elxis can help you buy in Greece.
Thank you. I would like to start by saying that Elxis is for more than 30 years provider of legal and real estate services in Greece. We do the legal handling of buying property in Greece, but we also have a real estate agency with 3 offices, one in Holland, one in Thessaloniki, northern Greece, where our legal hub also is situated, and one in Crete, in the southern part of the province Rethymno, where we also have a company who takes care of rentals, maintenance, and the whole cleaning of houses of our clients. We have, as I said, our strong point is our legal department. We have a very specialized team of lawyers who only do real estate for more than 30 years. And by providing all these services, we have a unique one-stop shop for Greece, so people can find a house through us. We can do a thorough legal research at the land registry. We assist people with a notary transaction. And after that, if people want, they have the option, if they have a house, for instance, in Crete, they have the option to have their house rented, maintained, and cleaned. So they have a full service, a very easy, hassle-free possession of real estate, which also gives them a nice return on investment.
Excellent. I'm glad you emphasized the hassle-free, because I've been writing about property for 20 or so years, and people love buying in Greece. But sometimes it hasn't always been the easiest process. But to have someone who will help you through the whole process, I think that's really, really key to success, isn't it?
Yeah. We know exactly in all these 30 years, we know all the bottlenecks, we know all the problems people might face. So we've done, some adjustment of our services. So in this refinement process throughout these 30 years, people now, really, they have no unanswered questions. They can have their house, they can rent it out. They don't have to bother with the money transactions. We can take care of the whole procedure. If something breaks down on Saturday night, nobody calls them. We have a whole team of technical team in the southern of Crete. So it's really a very, let me say, a very convenient, very luxurious service. Nobody else in Greece has it. So if people buy with us, they can have a very profound legal assistance. But then throughout the years, they just sit back and they have a very good service and a good return on investment.
Excellent. Right. Okay. Well, let's get down to the presentation. Now, if anyone has a question, I'm sure you will, just type it into the question box on the right-hand side of your screen. If you need a reminder of anything discussed today, and I'm sure you will, I think we'll be sending you an email shortly afterwards to explain how you can watch it again. And of course, you can just contact Georgios when you like. If we can pass back to you, Georgios, and take it away.
Yes, thank you. So this is a short presentation in order to give you some idea of how is the market now at this moment in Greece. We'll have a look at how the prices, what the prices and the market did in the first quarter of 23. versus the first quarter of 22. Something about the prices in Greece. What are the prices like? What are the main trends? How the market is going? The types of properties. An example of what you can buy from starting from about, let's say, 220,000 euros. A couple of words about the transfer fees and the procedure of buying a house, and finally something about the golden visa. Starting the real estate market this year, it was a bit different than last year. Our total sales value went up by 4%. The number of sales was 10% higher than last year, but the average price per house went down by 12%, and it has mostly to do with the high interest rates, but I'll come back to it in a moment. So the whole 21 and 22, we had it was a year of very good, very successful year, but mostly we had existing properties. What you see in 23 is that most sales are off-plan properties, new built houses, and there are reasons why this happens. And another figure is that about 17.5% of our buyers are looking for a golden visa, and that these are mainly buyers from the UK. And the most sales we had was in Crete, and that has to do with a couple of reasons. The prices are very good. We have some very interesting projects there. The weather is also the best in Greece, and also the flight connections with Crete are the best from all over Europe. So the main conclusions that we can draw from all this is that the Greek market is still on the rise, but you see that there are there are more sales, but the average price is down. You see that this has to do with the higher interest rates after the beginning of 22 with the war in Ukraine. All prices went up, all building materials went up. The interest rates also rose. So what you see is that people are not getting very easily a bank loan. And if they get one, money is more expensive. So you see that people are more or less using their own money. And what you see also, to come to an example with the UK, we had in the past years, most of our buyers, if they had, for example, 500,000 to spend, they could very easily call their bank and have an additional loan, and they could easily buy something with 600 or 700,000 euros. Whereas last year, with the higher interest rates, if somebody had 500,000, they'd buy a house of 250 to meet the threshold of the golden visa, and they went and they keep some money just for reserve. Another conclusion is that the golden visa requirement after the Brexit is rising in Greece. And the third and very basic, very fundamental trend that we see is that people are switching from existing properties to new build properties, and especially in off-plan properties. And why is this? Because they have a much bigger yield on their investment. New properties, you have a new generation of architects. There are very nice houses, minimalistic, with new materials, new tiles, new bathrooms. They rent much more easy, and you see that people are more keen to choose for a very nice new built house in comparison to houses which are 10 years old with older tiles, older kitchens, older bathrooms. Something about the price. In our business, we have the three L's: location, location, and location. You have the beachfront properties in the more expensive islands, but in general, Greece is very, very affordable. If you compare Greece to, let's say, other Mediterranean countries of the European of Europe, like Italy, France, southern France, or Spain, Greece. If you find similar properties in Italy, it will cost at least twice as much. In France, 4 or 5 times as much in the Côte d'Azur, and in Spain, it's very difficult to find comparable houses because most of Spain is fully built with big buildings, and from Barcelona to Gibraltar, you can hardly find a quiet little picturesque village. So the 3,000 islands of Greece, the 142 inhabited islands of Greece, make it very, very attractive. So this has also, it's a very interesting factor to get people like Greece, and the price is also depending on the touristic development, the distance from the sea, and in general, the prices are very nice in Greece. You can have a house, let's say in Crete, a very nice house of 220,000 euros with an own swimming pool, freehold, detached, something that you can not find it in other countries. In new built houses, there is not much room for negotiations. It's more like you can get something extra from the developer. You can get a heat pump or air conditioning or something like this. But the developers during the pandemic and after that, with the price rise of last year, they're very careful on what they're promising and what for deductions they give. Whereas in existing houses, you have the space to negotiate, and it happens most of the times, but it's mostly like something like 10% you can go down from the asking price, and sellers also take this into account, but the general negotiation space is about 10% because the prices in Greece are not high at all. So if we see what budget you have and what you can buy in Greece, I mean, starting from 100,000 to 200,000, you can have a village house, not too close to the sea, but with sea view, or you can have a small studio near the beach. The detached houses with a non-swimming pool, they start at about 200, 250,000 up to 300. You have beautiful things, and I'll show you an example in a while. From 500,000, you have also houses which are outside a project. Up until, let's say, 500,000, you're mostly, if you want to buy a nice house, it's mostly a project with 4, 5, or 10 houses, something like this. And you have also houses above $1 million up until 20 million, sometimes in Mykonos, Santorini, or Corfu. But in average, Greece is very affordable. Between 200 and 300, 400,000, you can find a very nice house. The types of properties in Greece, you have the apartments, which are near the sea. You have the maisonettes, which are ground floor with the first floor. But most of the houses we see in Greece are villas with an own plot and the swimming pool. You also have commercial properties for people who are looking for a bed and breakfast or a small hotel. And I can give you an example. This is an example of a project of 25 villas in Crete, in southern Crete, near our offices, where we can also have the whole rental and maintenance giving to us. So there are 25 villas. They're freehold. They have a fantastic sea view, and they're perfect for rental. So you can start here from 210,000 up until to 295 with 3 bedrooms. And I can give you an example of where it is. It's on the southern part of Rethymno. It's the Bay of Plakias with a lot of tavernas, doctors, ATMs, everything. And then 5 minutes drive uphill, you have this olive grove where these houses are being built with a view of, you have 7 different beaches in the vicinity. So on the right you have Plakias. This is the real picture. On the right you have Plakias, and then you have Damnoni, and on the left side, looking east, you have the islands of Paximadia, and on the right side you have the sunset every evening. This is your house, full of olives, olive trees, birds. It's really a very picturesque scenery. So to give you an example, this is a villa of 2 bedrooms with 1 bathroom, 68 square meters built, own swimming pool with a barbecue and an outdoor kitchen, with a plot of 300 or 400 square meters, and the price is 2,000 to 219,500 euros. If you buy this house, you have also transfer fees. These are the obligatory costs. The transfer tax for existing property or land, it's 3%. The notary fee, it's about 1.8 to 2%, depending on the price. And the land registry fee, it's 0.5%. On the left side of our screen here, we see that new build, you have VAT of 24%, but there is an exemption. The government has put it aside for a while, so builders have the option to be exempted from VAT. So in most of the cases, you also in new build houses, you have a 3% transfer cost. So as a resume, we have the obligatory costs, which are about 5%. And if you use a real estate agent and a lawyer, you have a total cost of about 9%. So the real estate fees are about 3%. And then you have a legal handling fee of 1%. And finally, something about the golden visa. The threshold when you want to have a golden visa in Greece, it's in most of the country, it's 250,000 euros. This year they raised this threshold for Athens, Thessaloniki, the big cities, in order to help the local people buy houses, because you had the phenomenon of houses would cost about 200, 220. Had their price raised by the owners to 250 because many foreigners would wanted to buy a house. So the government said that for Athens, Thessaloniki, Mykonos, and Santorini, these places, the threshold is 500,000 euros. So for the rest of Greece, it's 250,000 euros, and that's for a couple. So if you buy, you can get a permanent residence status for yourself and your spouse, but also for your children, the children of your spouse, and your parents of both parties. So it's for the whole family. With this golden visa, you can stay in Greece, you can have your children go to school. This does not give you a working permit, but you can start a company if you want, but not a working permit. And you can travel to all Schengen countries, and you can stay in other Schengen countries. The visa is valid for 5 years, but it can be very easily extended. It gets automatically extended as long as you have a property in Greece. And these are the main, let's say, key points of the golden visa legislation in Greece. And to apply, you have a fee of about 2,000 euros for the main applicant, and another much smaller fee for every additional applicant. So I think that that was my presentation. So Chris, if you have any comments or...
Well, that was really comprehensive. Thank you very much, George. That's answered so many questions already,
Yeah.
but inevitably raised a whole load of questions too. Let's just ask a nice simple question first. How long roughly is the time scale for buying? If we decide to go out there, organize a viewing trip now, what's a typical time for the legal processes to work through?
I would say within, let's say, 6 weeks to 2 months, something like this.
Okay.
In order to buy a house in Greece, you need a Greek tax identification number. We can do it. I mean, we do it with a power of attorney. We take the whole procedure over. So if our clients give us a power of attorney, we apply for the tax registration number. The notary gathers all documents together with a lawyer of the parties, and it depends on how fast the seller and how ready the seller is presenting his ownership titles and other additional documents. But I would say mostly about 2 months. If something if there's a mortgage which has to be lifted or something like this, it can take a little bit longer, but I would say something like 2 months typically.
Okay, that's great. Now, we've had some questions coming in. Susan is being very un-British and talking about money. What are your fees? How does the fee structure work? Do we pay?
Yeah, we have a 3% fee for real estate work. So if somebody buys a house of 200,000 euros, then we have a 3% fee for the realtor's work, and then additional 1% fee for our legal services, and that's from the very first intake up until the registration of the house. Everything that's in between is included. So the only thing people have to do is give us a power of attorney, and we take care of the whole thing. I mean, we take the whole hassle out of their hands, and people get a plan of what's going to happen. We explain the whole procedure. We give also mostly we have let's say in one-to-one with our buyers, and we explain the whole procedure, how things go to Greece. We send them all additional documents so they really understand how the transaction goes, and yeah, we take over from there. So yeah.
Great. Okay. Just to remind viewers that we will send you contact details. If you haven't already got them on the email, you'll be getting them, so you can contact Georges directly. Now, new off-plan, new build. How are we protected? Because obviously we pay you up front, and we don't know some of the money up front. What guarantees are there that we're going to end up with a finished house?
We structure. I mean, this is a very legitimate, and I mean, it's the first question you have to answer when you're in this business as a lawyer. What we do is mostly all the times from all our clients, when somebody buys in a project, let's say a house with a plot, in the beginning, what we do always, we just don't give. Some people want to get paid in installments, and the notary contract comes at the end. We work very differently. So the notary contract comes in the very beginning, and people get possession. I mean, they get ownership, full ownership of their land. So you pay, let's say, 1/3. Let's give a typical example of a house which costs 300,000 euros, including plot and everything. So when we start the whole procedure, we draw up a letter of intent, and people give a down payment so that they can reserve the property. And after that, they buy the land, paying something like 1/3 of the total sum, let's say 100,000 euros, and the rest is being paid in installments as the construction goes. And the security we provide to the clients is that they pay afterwards. So first, the developer makes the foundations, they send them photos, they see the foundations, and then they pay. The good thing is that the Greek legislation says that everything that is being built on your land is yours. So it's the risk of the developer to get his money or her money, but everything that is being built on your land is yours. So the developer puts the let's say the concrete skeleton of the house, and then he gets paid. And then if you go like this, you're always one step up front, I mean, in forwards. So that's how you don't risk. The only thing you risk is that somebody would not finish your house, but you have always enough money to finish it. And we provide assistance, of course, if something, it never happened in 30 years because we try to select the people we work with, and we make very good contracts. So yeah, we try to secure like this the client. But to come back on your question, people take almost no financial risks. They own, they possess the land from the very beginning, and they pay afterwards, after stage is being completed.
Okay, brilliant. So with the golden visa, we've had a few questions on that. People worried that it might be going up in other parts of Greece. Is it fairly stable? It's now decided those areas 500,000, other areas 250,000, and that's fixed, or is that subject to change?
No, it's just the new legislation. In the beginning, there was a lot of, I mean, people were asking why is this, but it's exactly what I said. It's only the two most expensive islands, Mykonos and Santorini, and Athens and Thessaloniki. Mykonos and Santorini because it's I mean they want to put a little bit the control of, I mean it's overpopulated, it's really packed. And in the big cities, they do it to protect the locals because prices were rising because of the golden visas. I mean, you had many people who, I mean, I'm not talking about UK people, but you had people from Asia who just bought houses for the golden visa and they didn't even go to pay the service costs and everything. They just abandoned. It didn't matter. So you have some phenomena which were not very pleasant. So the government said, okay, if you want to do it in the big cities, you have to have 500,000.
Okay, sure. Now, a lot of people will be looking to come out on viewing trips now. This is the time. Can you offer any tips on that? When would be a good time to come? Do we book it with you, or do we organize it all ourselves and then contact you when we book the flights, or how would you want us to organize that?
What we never did from the very beginning is to organize trips. I mean, organized trips have disadvantages, and I mean, I know, and it's exactly what I didn't want to do from the very beginning I mean, if you go with a group, you had, I mean, 20 years ago, people would go to France, 20 people, you would get food and accommodation, and on the 5th day, you were supposed to leave a down payment. It's absolutely not how we work. We assist if people ask us, I want to go to Crete or Lefkas or Corfu, we assist, and we, of course, we know a lot about hotels. We also have some villas in Crete, for example, which are almost the same with the ones people intend to buy. So you have a try before you buy. So we can suggest something like this so people rent from existing clients of ours. And in this way, we assist, we give tips. And when you're there, we, of course, accompany you and we show you around. We're always there when people go to visit Greece for a viewing. But I'm principle I don't want this organized because you have to pay for it. I mean, there's a price in everything. It's easy, but you don't see the date.
Okay, let me. Can I pin you down a little bit more on the VAT angle element, because that's not included in the price, obviously. So when we say 220,000, 219,000 for that lovely 2-bedroom one, I think it was, but you got to add 24% on that.
No, that's exactly what I said. The government gave 3 years ago the opportunity to builders to be exempted from VAT.
I see.
So 95 of the builders make use of this rule now. So and the government did it because 24% tax on a new built house is a lot, and people, I mean, it was supposed to create to generate income for the state, but it didn't really help the let's say the building industry and the tourism. So they said let's put it down, and that really had as a result that the boosted after that, and many people buy now off-plan houses, which are anyway very. It's a win-win situation, because if you pay like this, the developer does not take any risks. They don't have to borrow money, and that means that they also can offer you the house cheaper. I mean, if they go to the bank and they have finance costs and risks, I mean, if they want to build 20 houses, they have to get a loan. In this way, in a way, you finance your own house. And if you see the difference between an off-plan house and a turnkey, exactly the same house, it's about 20%. So you have a benefit of about 20% when you buy off-plan compared to a house that the builder has financed and built himself.
Okay, we're officially supposed to finish, but I'm happy to hang around for another 5 minutes if you are, because we've got more questions. Okay, Ellie is asking, what would be the process if multiple people, friends, would want to buy a house jointly?
You can do it. I mean, if you can do it, and then you are undivided owner. I mean, if it's 50-50 or 25, 25, 25, 25, 1/3, I mean, whatever you want, it's possible. Sorry,
I guess it's not that much different from unmarried couples who are perhaps buying together, whether they're friends or they're.
Yeah, you can do it, definitely.
Okay, that's good to know. In fact, actually, Ellie, we're doing a new guide on that, so keep checking back with Your Overseas Home, and we'll tell you how to do that. Okay, I have a question about. Okay, so we're coming out on that viewing trip. We're determined to buy. What do we need to provide in the way of paperwork?
When you decide to buy the house, we need your personal details, a copy of your passport, and that's it. That's it. And then we apply for a tax number. We do it. We apply with the tax department for a tax number, which is obligatory. And the only thing you need after that is money. And when you are there, when you are on a trip and you have decided during the trip to buy a house, it's better when you give the power of attorney in Greece before a Greek notary. It's much more efficient. We prepare everything. It will cost you something like €100. Whereas if you do it back home, then you have to find the notary, pay him, get an apostille stamp, which is legalization of the signature of the notary public in the UK, and you have to have the whole thing translated in a sworn translation. So it will cost you, let's say, maybe £700-800 to do that. Whereas, you have to find the notary and get a day off of your work to go and do all these things. We can fix it with €100 and let's say half an hour of your holiday in Greece. And we do it also with an interpreter. Everything is also, you get the whole text of the power of attorney in English. So yeah.
Okay.
That's it when you have decided to buy a house. Okay.
So just in terms of just to finish off and returning to the property market element, Greece was kind of prices kept low, didn't they? While other post-financial crisis started rising, Greek prices didn't. So it seems like they're still on the start of an upward trajectory. Would you say that's correct?
Greece is, if you compare to the other, let's say, EU Mediterranean countries, is the lowest. But on the other hand, Greece is the last couple of years has been, let's say, after the financial reconstruction of Greece, after the big crisis, the financial crisis of 2010-12, you see that Greece is gaining status financially and in the financial markets. You see also that many people who went before that, they just went to France or the Caribbean or to more exclusive destinations, choose for Greece. If you see what Greece has to offer, Chris, it's 2.5, 3 hours flight from Western Europe. It has 3,000 islands. It's a sailing paradise. There are I go sailing with a friend sometimes, and we go. I mean, you have an island of 2 people, and you have the whole island for yourself. I mean, this is in 3.5 hours flying from Europe, and Greece is being discovered also by very wealthy people. Greece, I read the research a couple of weeks ago. Greece is at this moment the top 5 destinations of luxury houses worldwide. It's rising, so the prices also will rise. I mean, you see that there is this, but still it's very affordable. If someone wants to step in the Greek market, it's a very good moment now, I think.
Excellent. Okay, well, we've gone over our time and more. Like I say, if you do have well, actually, I'm just going to ask one question that has just come in. Local taxes. What will we be paying roughly per year in local taxes once we've bought?
It's very low. To give you an example, I mean, property tax, the yearly property tax was introduced in Greece, let's say 10, 15 years ago, and people were saying, what, tax on my own house? So what happened after that is that the government put some taxes, but they're comparatively very low. So to give you an example, the house we just saw, the house with the 2 bedrooms in southern Crete, will have something like 210 euros per year. That's all. And you have yeah, you laugh, but I've lived in Holland, and I know exactly what the taxes are doing in Western Europe. So yeah, it's the 1/3 or 1/5 what people pay in Western Europe.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, that does definitely bring us to a close. Thank you very much, Georgios,
You're very welcome.
for your insightful tips and advice. And your advice, it covers every part of Greece. It isn't just the bits where we've. We would so thank you very much. If you've enjoyed the presentation, do please leave us a Trustpilot review. Thank you to all our viewers for watching this session. We wish you the very best in your purchase in Greece. We've got plenty more help on our website, Your Overseas Home or Greece Property Guides. And yeah, thank you, Georgios, and good luck. Thank you.
You're welcome, and everybody. I mean, if you have questions, give us a call or send us an email.
Fantastic. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.